In this demo, I'll show you how you can apply Slideshow and use the scroll effect to control it. I've got a simple one created here, and I'll just go to Preview Browser and we'll take a look. Preview page in browser. And basically, what will happen is it'll scroll a little bit with the browser, and then all of a sudden it will lock into place, and the slides will change based on how fast I grab the scroller here. So it stopped, and now I drag, and it just goes through its transitions, and it's just a 3-slide show here, and it just keeps cycling through. And if I go backwards, of course it does the same. So I've got a scroll effect which basically transitions from one slide to the next. And at the beginning of all of this, before the trigger point, I do have it following at the same rate as the browser speed until it hits a certain point, roughly 100 pixels down or so. Alright, so let's go take a look at these settings, and then we'll build a new one from scratch. So I'll highlight the slideshow, and you can see right here the trigger point. If I go to my scroll effects, under motion, very simple for the motion part. Same rate as the browser, 1. It's 170 pixels down from the top, so the distance from here to here is 170. And once it hits that, it will start to trigger the slides. And the slides are over here on the third tab, Slideshow. So of course it's turned on with the checkbox. And it does share the same common trigger point. And we basically have two options, autoplay and switch slides every so many pixels on the scroll. So the bigger the number, the longer they will last on screen, basically. And autoplay just starts them when it hits the trigger, and you can set the autoplay elements inside of the slideshow options under autoplay. Right now they're defaulting to 3.5 seconds before they switch to the next one, and it says resume after 3. Anyway, these are things you can play with, as well as the transition speed and the transition type. Transition type here, there are really just 3: fade, horizontal, and vertical. So if I choose horizontal in this instance, we'll take a look at that one. Oh, it's just taking a second to load here. And I drag up, or drag the slider down, and it goes up a certain distance, that 170. And you saw there the transition is now a slide. And every time I go down, I think it was 100 pixels, I think, it changes. And of course it does the same in reverse until it gets to that 170 pixel mark. And then the slideshow feature stops, and it simply scrolls with the page. So basically everything after the trigger will initiate the slideshow. So let's build another one here, just to get this from scratch. So I'll just create a new page. I'll go back out here to my sort of work file here. And I'll make it relative to this one, I guess. Add a page. Call it slide show scroll. Okay, and we'll open that page, double clicking it. And of course, with anything that requires scroll effects, we do have to have a certain height to the page. So I'm just going to drag this down and give us lots of room. And I'll take us up to about the 3000 mark. Actually, this should be more than enough. 2700 should be plenty. I'll scroll back to the top. We'll go into our widget library, and we'll just look for the slideshows. There they are. And I'm just going to use a basic one. You can see that there are a number to choose from, including Lightbox. Basic slideshow, and you just drag that on as a starting point. And it comes with 3 default images, and we'll just work with those. Now right now it's just a slideshow sitting on the screen, and I suppose I could turn on the autoplay, or what seems to be on right now. I'm actually going to turn that off there. And I would need to switch it using the left or right arrows to change slides. So very quickly, Again, with respect to scrolling, it's just an element on the page and it scrolls with the page. And as a slideshow, default transition happens to be fade. And we have our placeholder descriptions and our placeholder navigation. And all of these styles can easily be changed by highlighting them and choosing new fonts, colors, sizes, and so on. Alright, so let's just go back to Muse and affect a scroll effect. So I highlight it to start, of course, down to scroll effects. And I'm on slideshow here, so I just check the box off. And the distance between the top and this trigger point is what will set it off. If I want to scroll more before it starts, I can drag this down further. If I want it to start almost immediately, of course, closer to the top, the quicker it launches the effect. I'll say 20 pixels sounds like a reasonable place. And I guess we'll go switch slides every... I'll try 100. And we'll get a sense of how quickly they'll change, and if I need to adjust that, I can either increase or decrease that number. But this should be good to go. It's that easy. We'll go preview page in browser. And there we go. And of course it's working, but I haven't locked it down to the page, and that is one feature that I really want to do here. So we're going to combine again a motion feature with the slideshow feature in this case. And maybe we'll play with some transitions and things, but let's just get a sense of the scroll here for the speed of change. I'm actually good with that 100, so I'll leave that, but we'll add some motion controls. So highlight it once again. I'll go over to the motion tab. And let's say I don't want it to scroll in from the side, so I'll say 0 for side. I'll say 1 for the vertical. But to lock it in place, of course, final motion needs to be set to 0, 0. And that should lock it now once I reach 20 pixels down from the top of the page. Here we go. Preview page in browser. And it'll go up a bit, and then there's my 20 pixels, and that has triggered the slideshow. So you know what, I will set it to 200 pixels. Now that I got it locked in, I can see that it's going kind of fast. But that's just fine-tuning. The basic concepts are there. And if I highlight that again, let me just change that to, say, 1. Whoops, that was the wrong thing, sorry. Let me go over to my slideshow. Change that to 200. Yeah, don't get your tabs mixed up. And we'll give that a try. In fact, I'll save my file. Then I'll try. Okay, so here we go. Preview page in browser. And the scroll is already down, so it has already be taking effect. I'm going backwards, basically. And it scrolls down. So if I wanted to increase how far it scrolls, I could drag it down the page further. But there you go, controlling a slideshow with the scroll effects. And maybe just as one last thing, we'll change it from a fade to a horizontal. Alright, here we go. Preview page in browser. Expect it to rise 20 pixels. And there we have the slide feature instead of the fade feature. And I would like you to create one of these today.